Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back. Today we are doing a book review for a non-YA book because this month has been so full of YA books. But I finally got another one and I'm super excited. It came out this month and yes, it was just a bit of different that I needed, and that would be The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. Yep, we're gonna have to hold it funny because the tag stickers for the library with the barcode, they put on the front of the book with the name, things. It's weird. So this ought to be fun and awkward to, hold it in different positions. Solution found, a sticky note over the thing. So now I don't have to hold at weird angles and awkwardness. For this book, since it is a mystery thriller type of thing, we're gonna not delve into spoilers because that would definitely, be giving the milk out and not selling the cow, however that phrase goes. It was working in my head and then my mouth decided not to, so. But this one we'll talk about the description, in the book, characters, what their description doesn't say, but I don't feel is too much to give away. So like, the general plot outline of the book there, and the rating, and what we thought of it overall. So yeah, this was a fun read and I would love to share it with you guys. Starting us off, what is this book about? The Villa is about Emily and Chess as they have been best friends since like 4th grade, and through their adulthood though they have had more of a strained relationship as of course the demands of adulthood, living in separate states, one very high in public eye job for one of them, or one somewhat stressful job for the other one. And so yeah, they haven't been able to really connect more than off and on. And when Chess suggests a girls' trip to Italy, Emily is totally on board, wanting to spend more time with her friend. This villa that they're staying at, the Villa Astris, name. It is a very famous villa. It used to have a different name, and it is in the smallish hill town in Italy of Ortego. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up these names, and I even heard these names, so I should remember them. But it was the scene of a very high-profile murder in 1974 between a aging rock star, aging as he's like 30, so highly offensive, a up-and-coming musician, the musician's girlfriend, and her stepsister that travel along with them to Italy for their writing session that they were supposed to be doing. But instead a murder takes place, and from this high-profile thing that happened though, a platinum-selling album is created and a best-selling horror novel is created. Words, Morgan. Yes, so very, very, already thing happening. Emily though is super intrigued by what happened at the villa and digging in and finding out the history of what's happening there and the people that were there that summer. And as she keeps digging, she's uncovering more and more facts that were mainly known and some that were not. And it's also bringing to light several issues within her own past and problems between her and Chess and how things aren't exactly what they seem. Will everybody survive the summer, or will there be another murder added to the list? It says that the book is highly inspired by Fleetwood Mac and the Manson murders and the infamous summer Percy and Mary Shelley spent with Lord Byron at the Lake Geneva Castle, the birthplace of Frankenstein. So yes, it was, one of the blurbs says that it was supposed to be like a kind of retelling of the events that, inspired Frankenstein. So that was kind of cool. One thing that the description though does not tell you, and I wasn't exactly expecting, okay, so they're at a murder house of course, and you know that our main character is digging into the details of the murder, but I didn't expect to actually get a dual timeline effect to where we're seeing from Emily and only Emily in her time period. But then you're also going back to the summer of '74 and you're seeing from Mary Godwic's perspective, and she's going to be one of the quintessential characters of that summer event. And of course, like every time you're going back, you already know what happened, like the overall story, but you're getting her view. You're seeing actually it all unravel and seeing the details and the nitty gritty stuff. And it's, yeah. And in between all her chapters, and sometimes as an interlude in the middle of the chapter, it's switching characters in the middle of the chapter. It happened a few times. And you get articles maybe from the 70s after what happened, like a Rolling Stone article one time, a podcast featurette another time, parts from the horror novel that even came out after that summer. And it's just all of it's giving you little pieces and clues in different parts of the picture of just this overall scope. So some of the things are things that Emily is reading, and that's why you're getting to see it too. Others, I think, are just providing more detail. Like, I don't know if she ever read the actual Rolling Stone article, but it was just stuff that was brought up. So those layers were really, really cool. The main characters of this book, as I kind of touched on where I talked about the dual point of view, and like our current timeline is Emily. And it's only through Emily McCrae, Sheridan, one of those is her current last name, only through her eyes, but the other important character in her timeline is her best friend, Chess Chandler, who is this self-help guru writer person. She writes nonfiction self-help books. And Emily is actually a writer herself, and she writes cozy mysteries. But she's been having some problems into that lately. She's supposed to be on, I think, book 9, or was it book 10 of her series? And she's just not really feeling it. So this girls' trip to Italy, it's a summer writing trip, like that they both want to write together, or both just spend time relaxing and being able to write again. And yes, it starts out with the purest in... See, what was the last thing I said before stuff started blowing over in my yard? The summer trip is supposed to be a girls' writing, relaxing retreat, and it starts out with its seemingly good intentions, of course. Just friends reconnecting and writing together and things. But things are never what they seem as you slowly find out about Emily and why she's been having issues writing and things that are going on with her best friend. And it's some of the times it's irritating. You're like, well, why? Why wouldn't you just tell her? Why wouldn't you let her know this? Why are you hiding this? Yeah, okay. Moving on though, into our past timeline where I said you see Mary Godric, and her characters that you see is only from her perspective, and there's her sister Laura and her boyfriend Pierce, who is an up-and-coming rock star. He's very talented, but you know, getting discovered and the what's nots. And they are invited to this Italian villa by rock star Noel Gordon, I think, who was in a band previously. Now he's trying to do a solo thing and whatever. And him and Pierce are supposed to be working together, creating songs and stuff like that. And another character that Noel brings along, Johnny, who is just supposed to be Noel's helper. Yes. And of course, in the 70s, with rock and roll, there also comes, you know, relations and drugs and drama to that sort, and everything gets messy and crazy. And since, you know, we're in the present time, we already know that there's going to be a murder of one of these people. And you're like, well, who's it going to be? And then you actually do know, though, because articles say it, and then you're like, they could have left that part out, and we could have tried to figure out what happened more, who's going to get knocked off, you know? Either way, it still was kind of interesting to see how it happened. I think it's a horrible thing to say, but it's what really caused the turning point in Mary's life. So, yeah, it just would have been better, you know, if somebody didn't have to die for her to have this turning point and betterment of her life. Possibly this should have been said sooner, but it's like branded, I think, as, you know, thriller mystery. And the feel of it, though, the feel was not quite to that level. I mean, I'm not sure what the mystery is per se, except the book description, you know, is saying, you know, secrets will be uncovered into Emily's own past, things coming back to haunt her. But yeah, when you're already told what happened in the 70s, and then you're given a good bit of insight into Emily in just that first chapter about her being a writer, about what's causing her mental writing block and things of her life like that, there's not a whole lots of mystery going on there. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But I feel like the book overall did have a very laid back kind of quality. You're just spending time at this villa, which is described beautifully, and she gives scenes of the countryside, you know, talking about Italy, Rome, things like that. And it was very picturable where they are. And it's just, it was laid back, but it's like something is lurking behind you the whole time. So, you know, it's not quite you're waiting on the other shoe to drop, but you're also like, okay, I can enjoy this, but something's gonna come up and get me soon, if that makes sense. It was highly enjoyable for me, so hopefully that helps your determining. If you are wanting something that's like super suspenseful, though, this is not going to be it. But it is a very twisting ride, as for several of the times you think you know what's happening, and then it's really not that. Or it's really going to be something else popping up as a different layer of the story that's getting revealed. I did love all the different layers. That was quite interesting. And the last chapter, oh my gosh, the last chapter just changed everything. Well, not everything. The last chapter changed like the last quarter of the book, what you thought you knew. And what you thought you knew had worked really well. I mean, it made total sense why that would have happened. But then the last chapter was like, well, that's not a spoiler because I didn't actually say what any of it was. My overall rating of the book then was a 4.25 because I so enjoyed it. I enjoyed spending time with both of our characters, even if one was kind of sad and it's like, well, girl, you could just do better. It was what it was. I liked the ending of the book. Like I said, that last chapter was, oh my gosh. I really actually did not like where our main character ended up, though. Her actual ending is like, wow, she just went from one situation into another situation that was like not really that much better for her. And that's awful. She got played. You'll start to see the theme through the book, though, about how that could have ended up. Overall, it was just a highly enjoyable tale of one lady trying to figure out her life, trying to figure out this giant mystery, and getting, you know, taking control back in her life and in her writing, and the story that unfolds, and what women are willing to go through, what lengths. Yeah, that was actually talked about in both of them. It's a little nuts. Just gonna say that. This is the first mystery thriller I have read by her, so I wanted to pick up the other one, and now I probably will. I hope it does have a similar thing happening there. I'm starting to find that I like books about people writing, authory peoples. This is the third one I've had like this. I don't know. The back of the book is actually blurred, but she's the reigning queen of suspense. So this is a suspense novel. I should have looked at when we were discussing earlier what type of novel it is. I think, though, this was perfect when I needed it, because I needed a palate cleanser. So if you are in the middle of all your large fantasies, any kind of fantasies, YAs, science fictions, and you need, you know, a change of pace, do this one. It's great for it. It's super short. And then, you know, you're refreshed for anything else you want to read. I really, really enjoyed it, though. It is definitely very evenly flowing, keeping you entertained, engaged. I did not want to put it down. So yes, it was a perfect book when I needed it. I think a lot of people would like it. So I encourage you to go pick it up, try it. I highly recommend this book because it keeps you very engaged. The way it moves, the way it changes between perspectives, and then it has little interludes in between the chapters of articles or podcast things or even works that are mentioned in the book. And I think everything tied together very greatly, and a lot of people would enjoy this book and should pick up this book. If though you would like to see other reviews, I have other review videos, and every week we are doing a new releases. So like books like this that just came out we talk about which books came out that week. And if you haven't yet, you should consider subscribing so you can see our new releases every week and more review videos like this one. I hope you guys are all finding something awesome to read today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.